I don't know what to say.
Well, we can't just sit here with our thumbs up our asses and do nothing. I'm sorry, Midnight, but we must destroy that ship.
Fool, you son of a bitch!
You know I can't let you kill my daughter, fool.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. She's not your daughter anymore.
She'll always be my daughter.
Fool, think about this. We can't
If we don't take out that ship, billions of people will die.
But it's Archangel. She's our friend.
Not anymore.
Midnight flies her ship beside nobody's fool. She looks at him through the cockpit window.
I won't let you kill my daughter. Stand down. That's an order, fool.
Your authority has been compromised. I'm in charge now.
I won't let you do this.
Command, do I have authorization to take the shot?
You're clear.
No! Stop! Stop or I'll shoot!
Fool, Midnight, stop!
Don't make me shoot you, fool!
We have our orders. You're committing treason!
She's my daughter!
Stop it, both of you!
Cinder, you have authorization to disable Midnight.
What? But
Take her out, Cinder. She's jeopardizing the mission.
this is fucking crazy. Everyone just calm down.
Stand down, fool!
I'm taking the shot.
No!
Fool! You killed him. You killed Fool.
He left me no choice. My daughter, she...
Cinder, take out that starfighter now.
Cinder, please. She's my daughter.
I don't know what to do. You. Are you indoctrinated?
What? No!
Command, Midnight is indoctrinated, requesting authorization to disable.
I am not indoctrinated!
Open fire, Cinder.
Cinder, don't!
Cinder swoops to attack.
Cinder, please!
Cinder's starship opens fire on Midnight.
Shit!
Command, Midnight has been disposed. I'm heading toward the target now.
Confirmed.
No! She's my daughter! Cinder, no!
Cinder's starship flies away. Midnight's starship is careening slowly, activates missiles and engages her lock on all systems. Waits for her ship to line up with Cinder's, spins slowly, then lines up with Cinder's core on the underbelly of her ship.
I'm sorry, Cinder.
Ah! I'm hit! Command,
Cinder, come in. Cinder, acknowledge.
Command, I'm sorry.
You've committed treason, Midnight. I declare you an enemy of the United Space Force. You've doomed millions of lives. And for what? One life? She's not your daughter anymore, Midnight. Whatever she is, it's not Archangel. She's gone. And what am I supposed to do? Sit here and watch billions of people perish? My son? What about my son? He's down there, Midnight, and now he's going to die because of you. Command, to any remaining N7 wings, do you copy?
Copy, Command. This is Boomer. Over.
Do you have visual of the target?
Affirmative. Sector 10. Repeat, Sector 10.
Acknowledged. Take out that ship. If anyone interferes, you have clearance to engage.
Copy.
No, please!
I have luck. Firing.
No!
Shit! Command, Midnight flew into my firing zone. She's gone.
Fire again. Take out that ship.
Starships of United Space Force destroy the Mother Indoctrinator.
Hold your fire, Boomer. Repeat, hold your fire.
Copy.
Mother Indoctrinator has relinquished its brainwashing control over the enemy starfighters.
This is... Oh, my head. This is Archangel? What happened? Where are we?
Archangel? Is that you?
Command? What's happening? Command? Where's Midnight? They ordered us to, can't remember. Midnight?
I'm sorry, Archangel. Your mother is gone. She gave her life to save yours.
End of play.
Hi there, my name is Harrison Carroll, and I'm here to introduce the next play, Charlotte's Entity. Now, I have to warn you, this play does get pretty dark, and if you do look at the back of your programs, it does mention suicidal ideation and very sensitive topics. If that is something that you do not wish to listen to, please exit the room and come back after this play. I just because I don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed by this play. This play is definitely something that is inspired by some personal experiences, but most of it is fictionalized. So I do hope you enjoy.
Charlotte is brushing her hair in her mirror. The entity is mimicking her motions, but without the hairbrush. There is a silence as they brush their hair. Entity breaks the silence, however, continues to mirror Charlotte.
I have something to tell you.
Why do you have to start this first thing in the morning? Can't I have a moment of peace until school starts?
There's never a wrong time for this. You have a pimple. One over there. Blackheads are all over your nose. Your face is weirdly shaped. You are an ugly duckling.
Please just leave me alone. I don't have time right now to deal with you.
Time is not important in this decision. You already know that you're stuck with me.
Charlotte turns and walks away from the mirror.
Do you not enjoy my company? Do you not like me? That is very mean of you. Why are you mean? Why are you being mean to me? Is it because I'm right? You know I'm right. I've never lied to you. Why are you pretending that I'm lying to you now?
She walks over to her bed and grabs a blanket. Charlotte backs over to the other side of the room and throws the blanket over the mirror.
Are you trying to ignore me? That is very mean. I tell you the truth, and you pretend I'm not even here?
I am. Now please leave me alone.
See? You are horrible. This is why you are a horrible person. You are mean to me, and yet I'm just telling you the truth. What are you looking for? You're not going to find it.
Leave me alone. I don't have time right now.
That is harsh. You know I can't do that. You know why I'm here. You know what brought me here.
Charlotte closes the drawer forcefully, having grabbed a big dark hoodie. She puts on the hoodie.
Do you think that is going to help? You are pathetic. When has that hoodie ever worked for you? When has it ever stopped me? Do you remember Mina? She was a good friend to you. She treated you so well, more than you deserved.
Why did you have to remember her?
Do you remember? You two were so close, and yet you fucked it up. You ghosted her when you decided to shut everyone out of your life. Why did you do that to poor Mina? What did poor Mina do to you to be shut out like that? You remember? You were the one who shut everyone out. You chose this. You shut everyone out and became the loser that you were meant to be. You are the only one to blame. You made your choices, and now you are alone. This is on you. No one would ever want to be friends with a person as horrible as you. You chose to be a horrible, awful person. It is your fault. It is all your fault. It is all your fault. Repeat it back to me. Repeat it back to me.
It is all my fault.
See? Was that so hard to say? Is it that hard to be honest? If I'm being honest, I'm surprised that you have not killed yourself yet.
Horrible people like you should be dead. Do you not agree? Why are you not dead yet? You are a horrible person, and yet death seems to elude you. It is not hard to find a rope. Just go down to the hardware store and pick some up. You have to make sure it's strong and sturdy, so it will hold your body when you hang yourself. Or maybe you're too cowardly to die painfully. You are a coward. It makes sense. In that case, maybe a bottle of painkillers and some booze will do the trick. Just chucking it down like a baby with a bottle. You can use the bottle of wine that your dad bought yesterday. It is right there, and it tastes good. Make it somewhat easy for a coward like you to die. You already have the painkillers for work. Seeing as you need painkillers already, I know you are a coward. It wouldn't be that hard to kill yourself with those two. It would not be that hard. You already know that everyone will be better off with you gone. No one cares about you, and life will be easier for them without you. They will not have to pretend that they care about you, just like your parents. You know that they do not care. They barely notice when you feel sad or when you feel happy. They do not care. They never will. Make it easier for them. Make it easier for everyone. It will be easier for you too. No more pain. You will finally be free from it. I know it hurts, but being dead will make it all go away. When have I ever lied to you? I know you can do it.
The spotlight begins to close in and fade on Charlotte. She's lowered her head, staring at her lap, weeping.
You can do it. Just do it. It is okay. You can end the pain you feel right now. It is fine.
Charlotte, dear, breakfast is ready.
Coming.
Charlotte exits. The entity also leaves the room. End of play.
Hello, my name is Justine Stewart, and I wrote the next play called Dig. It's a comedy about two hardworking grave robbers and a fist fight. I hope you like it.
Lights up on a graveyard exterior, middle of the night. Downstage right, Dick and Billy are each waist deep in separate graves, digging, a few paces away from each other. Upstage left, a fresh grave with an ornate headstone is heaped with bouquets.
It's a little too convenient that every time I'm leaving, he's taking out his trash or checking he's locked the car, don't you think?
Don't make us stink about it till you have to. Just tell him you're working.
What kind of workplace would have me starting this late?
Plenty of places. I just tell folks I got myself a gig dealing in cryptocurrency.
Crazy how people keep burying their grandmas with so many shiny heirlooms. You'd think they better know now.
Billy flashes a large ring in the moonlight. Dick tosses his shovel out of his grave, too.
At least some of them still spring for the locks. Much of a rip-off as they are.
He grins, waving a large screwdriver in the air, leans down, pops the lock on the casket.
What do you reckon is the oldest grave you've ever done?
Maybe 20 years old or so? I don't like to dig them much after about 25. They get a little too mushy for my taste.
He climbs out of the grave, claims his shovel. Billy piles necklaces and rings on the ground.
I bet the mushy ones got real big jewels, though. I'd be willing to take that risk.
Dick reclaims his shovel to fill in the grave. Billy pulls a large locket from his casket, angles it toward the moonlight as he opens it.
Husband?
Daughter.
Don't need that kind of bad luck. Is it just me, or is this one not even dug straight?
He peers over at the grave Dick is filling in. There is a flash of headlights near the fresh grave beside them as Simon parks and approaches the headstone with a bouquet of daisies in hand. Dick and Billy shuffle out of their respective graves and crouch behind a headstone.
What the hell is he doing out here this late?
It's that Watson girl. Boyfriend looks like he couldn't exactly come down during the funeral now, could he? Family owns half the churchyard.
I guess. If you ask me, though, they're nutter butters for letting him walk free.
Not much they can do. The girl got out of the car in the middle of a highway.
More like he let her run out into the highway just to get away from him.
The way I see it, they're both to blame. If you're gonna get wasted and get into a screaming match, you ought to do it at home like the rest of us.
Another flash of headlights as Henry jumps out of a car, strides towards Simon, grabs him by the shoulder, and whips him around.
Just couldn't help yourself, could you? The least you could do is pretend to have some shame and keep your distance. Don't we deserve a little peace?
What, are you spying on me? I ain't bothering nobody. I got every right to be here. Izzy would want me here.
So now we're just supposed to take your word for it, for what she'd want, eh?
I'd know a hell of a lot better than you know. You think you're the only ones that deserve her to be sad? You haven't even spoken to her in months.
Who said anything about being sad? Sadness is for our mother, losing our only daughter to a scumbag like you. For our family legacy, marred by the embarrassment of all this nonsense. Forget sad, I'm pissed. You can pretend you're here to pay your respects, but we both know you're here to gloat, to prove you're still in charge of her. Well, you're not, and you never will be again. I doubt anyone would even question it if I just kill you right here, right now.
If you're thinking of killing me will prove how much you loved her, go for it. I've been giving it a good deal of thought myself.
Oh, that's rich. Very convincing. Killing yourself won't prove anything to anyone. You're about as worthless as they come, and no one will ever forgive you for this.
You know, I'm getting pretty tired of listening to opinions from the likes of you.
That's some proper nasty shit right there. I ought to make you walk down to the corner store and fetch me a beer after letting me drink that.
I went to school with her, you know.
The Watson girl?
Izzy. She was an angel compared to their lot. Doesn't take much to be, I suppose. That brother of hers is the biggest bully I ever met.
Billy pulls out a pocket knife, pries at something on a footstone.
Sounds like you took a liking to her. Awful easy to see devils around when your cock's got the sight on a so-called angel.
Oh, come on now. It was never like that. The boyfriend's always been a little shit, too. If they really cared about her, they would have helped her when she still could have.
Billy pops a large gold medallion out of the footstone with his knife.
What the hell are you doing?
How much you figure we get for this? Looks like a medal or something.
It's a veteran's medallion, you little shit. Now put it back.
Dick smacks Billy across the back of the head.
You think a year of knowing her gave you some kind of insight that none of us had?
I think a week of listening to her would have given me more insight than you'd gotten out of a whole lifetime of knowing her. You never cared what she thought. Not really. You didn't even care who she was or what she really wanted.
And you did. You could pull any girl in this town you wanted. God only knows why. But you always could. And yet, you conveniently took an interest in my sister. A girl who stood to inherit 3 times more than you could ever hope to make in your lifetime. At a point in her life when she'd never been more fragile.
Izzy was a lot of things, but fragile wasn't one of them. My God, you never even knew her. None of you did. Maybe you think you did because you were close when you were young, but she would have hated everything about this funeral. The big service, that ridiculous headstone. Jesus, I heard you played the fucking Beatles as they lowered her casket into the ground. It'd be hilarious if it wasn't so goddamn sad.
You read that dedication in the paper today?
From Izzy's grandma? Yeah, pretty beautiful story, actually.
Oh, sure. How they knew Jesus was right in the room with them as she passed, on account of the dog whining at the same time a door blew open. Some real bullshit.
Why do you gotta do that? You're always so goddamn rude.
A little tweaker boyfriend ain't wrong. It's tacky as hell to play music at a funeral. I'm surprised they buried her here at all, to be honest. The folks she hung around and the habits she had, it's only a matter of time until something like this happened to her.
You're a real piece of work, you know.
But there's a good 5,000 buried with that girl.
You see those assholes over there? Izzy's had enough bullshit for one lifetime. Not to mention the drama we'd be caught up in if we got caught hawking her stuff.
I only been around these idiots 10 minutes, and I want to knock their heads together? I wouldn't dig her up even if you paid me. I was just saying, probably be worth a pretty penny.
Maybe I didn't know Izzy anymore, but I knew her potential. I know who she could have been, and I know she deserved so much better than you.
Well, then at least there's one thing we agree on.
Simon leans forward and places the bouquet of daisies on top of Izzy's headstone.
You don't need to creep around here, Gardner, anymore. I won't be coming back.
Harry seizes the daisies and whips them at Simon's face.
Are you really that petty? Does she not at least deserve grief?
She's allergic to daisies, you dumb piece of shit. Shows what a stellar boyfriend you are.
I may have been a shit boyfriend, but at least she could stand to be around me. That's why the doctors didn't even call you until after she was dead. She hated you all so much. She had the chance to see you one last time, and she said, no thanks.
Henry throws himself at Simon, and they wrestle against Izzy's grave. Simon's head bounces off the headstone. He falls in a slump to the ground. Henry paces panicked as it starts to sprinkle rain.
Holy hell, Dick. The kid ain't moving. Give me your phone. We gotta call the cops.
The hell we do? Sit back down.
You're kidding, right? We gotta do something. Give me your damn phone.
Dick grabs Billy's arm and shoves him back against the headstone.
And what are you gonna tell them? When they ask why you're hiding in the churchyard, middle of the night, covered in your balls in dirt?
Dick glances at his watch, considers. With a heavy sigh, he turns and props his elbow up on the headstone, hands cupped round his mouth like a megaphone.
What the hell are you two thinking? Get on out of here before I call the cops.
Henry jumps at the sound of Dick's voice, scampers off to his car. Dick resumes filling in one of the graves. Billy stares at Simon's unmoving body.
Pick up your shovel, kid. The quicker we finish, the quicker we can split.
You think her brother called an ambulance?
You better hope he didn't.
You're always doing that. Don't you ever think there might be a force in a churchyard full of people to listen to a song they don't want to hear?
I reckon it's been a while since most of these folks heard something happy. And it's better than digging in silence, ain't it?
They sing Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. End of play. Okay, we need our 4 playwrights. So, do we have any questions for the playwrights of the first 4 plays that you listened to? I see a hand.
Yeah, I have a question for all of you, actually. So, can I go in order because that's how I wrote it down?
Okay, sure.
So for the first play, I kind of got this impression that there was a different use for the mother-in-law originally. I really liked how she capped off both sides of it. But I was curious why you didn't use her more throughout to kind of be this intrusive comedic presence during like the penultimate of their fight.
Right. Because the fight happens in such a short period of time, when I was thinking about it, it didn't make sense to think that she would be calling continuously several times over the course of the night. I just wasn't sure what that would add, if that makes sense, because it was just about the two of them. So,
Totally fair.
Yeah.
Definitely a good presence to have, though. I think the characterization of it was really spot on.
thank you.
For the second, I feel as though you had extremely clear mental imagery of what you were going for, and I really appreciate that because it helped me see what you were going for. I was very curious, I don't want to word this rudely because it's not the intention, but why did it start where it did? Because I feel as though it didn't provide us this beautiful tapestry of these characters, like one who's recently lost her daughter, and this friendship that presumably they would have, and the bonds that sit
Well, I watched the Luke Skywalker trench run in episode 4. And that's that, you know, you just see Luke as this, you know, farmer boy, but now he's in this spaceship. But if you're just watching that scene, you don't know that. But yeah, I just watched that scene. I was like, I want to do something like this. So.
Okay, so the intention was to just launch in,
Yeah,
launch
yeah.
that, and just let the story.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, so I'm just, come back to you, but are there any other questions from anyone? Because we don't have a huge amount of time. Yeah, Allison?
So for the first play, out of curiosity, how did you come to the conclusion of making the sex symbol basically be like, giving a lot of why is an autistic person?
I don't know, I may have to answer that. We just sort of let the actor play around with it for a while. Sort of.
When I was writing it, I did picture that because I think that's what most people picture.
Yeah, it's.
So, yeah, it was just sort of trial and error.
And for the second one, I do agree with my friend about like starting it off where it did, but I just want to know what was your main inspiration from other than Star Wars? Like, were you a Star Trek fan or?
Oh yeah, Star Trek, Wing Commander, just anything nerdy, really. Just Stargate, you know. I have a lot of influences.
Fantastic. Do we have any questions for Dig or Charlotte's entity? Rico or, okay, sure. Continue.
It's
Love
much
the
appreciated.
enthusiasm. Yeah, love the enthusiasm.
For Charlotte's entity, I was wondering how you view the actors in your head. Like, were you planning to go with things like height differences, weight differences, staging, or were you planning to have the entity identical to Charlotte?
So somewhat identical. In my head, I envisioned kind of like the entity kind of just being like this person wearing an all black suit, kind of being a shadow in of themselves, but hopefully kind of somewhat similar body type to Charlotte or something completely different in a sense that would reflect how she felt about herself.
I absolutely feel you on that. And last one for me was just the staging of the parties in Dig. I was very curious about, like, it's a comedy written with that intention. And it's just like the overlapping of conversation, like kind of cutting into each other. Did you play around with that at all in the writing process?
Like play around with the order in which they interrupt each other or the staging?
Yeah, because I'm not sure if it didn't like come across, but it just didn't seem like there was a ton of overlapping between the two stories. It was like this side is observing and this side is completely ignorant of being observed. So it's like instead of just cutting in on their conversations to kind of heighten the comedy of the moment.
Oh, no, that's a good point. I didn't play around with that very much. I can definitely look at that. The staging is intended, like you said, that at the grave site, they're not aware of the people up front. So it's almost more like a commentary. But I definitely would take a look at that. That's a good suggestion.
Okay, there was a question at the back.
Oh, I was just going to ask Styles, because so much of, like, essentially what you created is a beautiful collage of so much of common culture that goes back 30, 40 years and have tried it out here theatrically. And I was wondering if, now that you've sort of got that base coat, if you ever thought about, like, evolving it to act as metaphor, perhaps, for other things. Or, like, there was a weird moment there where, you know, he's on me, and I thought, that's metaphor for a stalker. You know, like, but then, well, why couldn't it be if you developed it more?
Yeah, I did not think of that. I'm a very simple guy. I like blowing stuff up and, you know, letting your imagination go crazy.
Still do that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't think of any, like, hidden metaphors or anything like that, no. Just bam, bam.
Any other questions for our playwrights? Yeah, Allison?
For Dig, out of curiosity, how much inspiration did you take for taking like the names of these characters?
Originally, it was written with a whole different set of characters, so the names were more referential, but I lost that in edits, so none, I think, is the answer. Yeah.
Okay. Rick?
Maybe I'll be the last
I will, yes. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
I'll do a dramatic reading for you privately. Don't worry.
okay. So I've got 5 to 8. We were going to take a 10-minute intermission and come back for the next 4 plays at 5 after 8. So enjoy some cookies, and we'll see you in 10. Thank you. To begin the second act. All right, welcome back. Is everybody here? I see some empty seats from our playwrights. It's great if we don't have to interrupt. Who's missing? Okay. Okay, we'll give it a second. It's always better if someone doesn't have to come in and interrupt.
Oh, yes, yes. No, please bring up the drivers. Hey, Shishi, did you buy some vape stuff? Me too.
Okay, so welcome back to Act 2 of Hothouse 1. We begin with closing that door and Forever My Baby by Hannah McGurn.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and I'm an Algonquin student with a passion for scriptwriting and for acting. I enjoy writing relatable and emotional stories. My 10-minute play, Forever My Baby, is very loosely inspired by my relationship with my father, who is such a big, huge support in my life. Thank you.
Lights up on stage. Frank is sleeping on the couch in the living room. TV is on in front of him, and he's snoring loudly. Emma opens the front door, sneaks in. But when she shuts the door, Frank wakes up.
What time is it?
It's only like 11.
It's almost 2 in the morning.
Oh, sorry.
She's racing toward her room.
You come back here. Don't run away from me.
What?
Where the hell have you been? It's late. I called Trisha's mom's hours ago. You never were there. I know you lied to me, so quit this innocent act right now and tell me the truth.
Trish and I went to a party, okay?
The party? With alcohol and drugs and with boys who don't understand the word no?
No, Dad, with friends. It was fine. Nothing bad. We just hung out. We played some games and chatted. That's all. There weren't even that many people there. It was super chill.
Nothing bad? I don't care what happened or how many people showed up, Emma. You lied to me and went to a party. You can't play that down.
I didn't lie. I just withheld the truth.
That's the definition of lying.
Okay, I'm sorry. Calm down. It's not the end of the world. I'm fine. I'm here now and I'm safe. Stop worrying so much.
I will not calm down. I'm upset and I'm concerned. I mean, what else have you lied to me about?
Nothing, Dad.
Have you been drinking?
Ugh, I had one drink.
One drink?
Okay, maybe 2.
2 drinks?
All right, maximum 3, possibly 4.
That's illegal, Emma.
I know it's illegal, but everyone my age does it, so what's the problem?
I don't care if everyone your age is drinking. If everyone your age decided to jump off a bridge, would you? I know you want to just fit in and make friends, but there are other ways to do that.
Emma heads over to the coat stand, hangs up her jacket, revealing what she has on underneath.
What the hell are you wearing?
It's called a crop top.
What in the world is a crap pop?
Crop top.
Whatever, you shouldn't be wearing that.
Why?
Because I don't like it. It's too revealing.
Really? Wow. I never realized my stomach was so sexual.
Quit the sarcasm. That's not what I meant.
Then what did you mean?
Never mind, Emma. You are so much like your mother. It's insane. Since when do you like parties anyway? You hate social gatherings. They've always made you anxious. And now suddenly you're a party person? What changed? Was there someone there you wanted to see?
His name is Mark.
Mark?
Yes, Mark.
Ah, so there's a boy. Emma, you're still so young. You don't need to date yet. Why don't you wait until college? Boys at this age are too immature anyways. Believe me, I was one of them years ago.
Dad, I'm going to be 18 in a few months. How is that too young? I mean, seriously, how old were you when you started talking to girls? Look, I understand that you want to protect me and whatever, but you need to start giving me space. I'm getting older, and I can't have you dictating everything I do with my life anymore. I should have the freedom to make my own choices. I want to choose who I can spend my time with, how I dress, and what kind of person I want to be. Even Mom understands that. But why can't you? You need to look at me. I mean, really look at me. Can't you see I'm not a little girl anymore? You don't have to worry so much about me, Dad. I'm grown up. I can take care of myself and I can make my own decisions. I'm tired of hiding things. I want to be able to share my life with you. But I'm just so scared you won't approve of it.
What are you talking about, Emma?
It's late, Dad. I'm going to bed.
No, you're not. We're not done talking.
What else is there to say, Dad? You don't like my outfit, you're mad that I lied, and apparently I can't even talk to boys? I have tried so hard to please you, and I'm over it now. I'm a disappointment and you're angry. I get it.
You're not a disappointment, Emma.
Really? Because it seems like no matter what I do, I'm never good enough. I don't live up to your standards, and I'm just so tired of trying.
She sits on the couch. Frank sits beside her.
It's not true, Emma.
Yes, it is, Dad. I don't want to be a nurse or an accountant or anything like that. I'm not good at school, and I never have been. I want to be an actress. I want to act, Dad, and I don't care what you think of it.
Act like in movies and on TV?
Yes, like in movies and stuff.
Emma, that's insane.
I know, Dad, but that's what I want. I've always dreamed of being on a movie set. I want to tell people's stories creatively and really test myself.
I don't understand. I mean, what, do you want to be famous or something? How are you going to afford a home or food? You won't be able to make a living.
I'll figure it out, all right? I could get a part-time job. I could have roommates. I will find ways to make it work.
Why don't you come work for me instead? I could give you a 9-to-5 working in the sales department or something.
Dad.
It could be great for you. You could take the time to make some money, figure out what you really want to do. I mean, acting is cool and all, but it's just not, it's not realistic in the long term. I think you should take some time and think about other options.
Dad, I know what I want to do. I'm going to be an actress, and one day, you'll understand.
I've worked so hard to give you a good future. I've saved money so you could go to college and learn, become an important part of society. And now you want to be an actress? You don't care what I think. And I can't change your mind, can I?
Nope.
Fine. What can you tell me about this Mark? Is he nice to you? Does he have motorcycles and tattoos?
No motorcycle and no tattoos. Why would that matter anyway? Dad, this is really weird. I don't want to talk about boys with you.
You're my daughter. I have the right to know these things. So tell me, what is this Mark like?
I don't know. I mean, he's sweet. We have lunch at school sometimes. He plays soccer. And he opens doors for me.
What doors? Car doors?
No, Dad, just doors, okay?
Do you like them?
Dad, come on. What do you want? Me to gossip with you, tell you all my love life like we're besties in middle school?
Okay, it's just a question.
You have way too many questions tonight. I mean, seriously, this feels like an interrogation almost. Are you gonna handcuff me and lock me in my room if I say the wrong thing?
Here we go again with the sarcasm. You sound just like your mother.
Well, if I'm so much like Mom, why don't you leave me too?
I did not leave your mother. We divorced. It was mutual.
Was it? Because I don't recall that part.
Emma, your mother and I loved each other very much, but things didn't work out between us. We argued every day. You know that.
You gave up. You didn't try.
Of course I tried, Emma, but we were so different. Just like you and I.
Oh, I've had enough of this conversation and enough of your questions.
I'm allowed to ask questions, all right? It's because I'm your father, and I care about you.
Well, I have a question for you.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, what is it?
But hold on, I'm thinking.
Seriously? You don't even have a question. You're just trying to hassle me with this. This is ridiculous.
Why aren't you this hard on James? You never told James what he could or couldn't wear. You never cared who he hung out with. I'm sure some of his friends had motorcycles and tattoos.
You and your brother have always had the same rules.
James is only a couple of years older, and by the time he was my age, he went to parties and he already had 2 girlfriends.
That's different.
How is that different? What, because I'm a girl? I need to be taken care of and looked after? Since boys are so dangerous and easily distracted? Well, maybe instead of protecting women, we should teach men how to properly behave. Tell me, Dad, how is it different?
Because you're my daughter. You're my baby girl. I understand your point, but unfortunately, the rest of the world isn't there yet, so my apologies for wanting to keep you safe. Nonetheless, you and James have always been so different. When he was your age, he'd already been accepted to 3 universities and was on the honor rolls at school. James was easy. He never cried. He was the first in class to learn to read. But you are special. Just 10 years ago, you refused to go anywhere without wearing a princess dress, and all you ever wanted to eat was mac and cheese. I remember the day you were born. It was life-changing. I felt like finally, for the first time, I understood what it meant to be a father, to protect someone and care for someone as much as I do. Growing up, you were never the smartest, but you were so happy and adventurous. You never cared about what others thought. You always did your own thing, and now you're older, and you have opinions and dreams of your own, and now you're all grown up, and you don't need me anymore.
Well, I kind of need you to pay for my acting classes. Look, I get it, Dad. I know you care about me deeply, but it's time you let go a little. And I understand how crazy this all sounds, but I just feel like acting is something I need to do, or at least try. But I can't do it without your support.
I will try my best to give you space, but I will always be here if you need me, because you're my child and I care about you. I might not like or agree with this whole acting thing, but if it's really what you want to do, then I will help you, and I will support you in any way I can.
This is what I want, Dad. Like, I know it will be a challenge, and I'm aware people are going to judge me and criticize me, but this is what I want.
Okay, then. I'm here for whatever you need.
Thank you.
I understand that you're older now, and I should give you space to do what you want. It's just tough because I love you, and I want the best for you.
I know, Dad. I love you too.
You'll forever be my baby.
Good night, Dad.
Exit Emma. Frank sits back on the couch, flicks back on the TV. End of play.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anne Lukowski, and I'm the writer for Time to Rest. It's a play about an old man taking care of his wife, and he's kind of contemplating what his life really means. So, hope you enjoy.
Scene 1. A single chair is set at the center front of the stage. Behind it, simple little kitchenette with a decorated dining room table. Gregory Milton enters, back arched with age and fatigue. He reaches the chair in the middle of the stage and sits exhausted.
I have to wake up at 7 every single morning. Not of my own will, of course. I'm 78 years old. I'm considered an old man at this point. If I could, I'd sleep all day and be fed smoothies for the rest of my life, but I have responsibilities.
Looks at his watch. Meredith walks on in her bathrobe. She pours herself hot water and makes tea. She sits at the table.
Her first dose of thiamine needs to be taken with breakfast. 50 milligrams. I usually have to wake her up for this. Ever since I've known her, she's never been easy to wake up. She slept like a dog most nights. She still does. Which just makes it even harder. You see, Meredith, my wife, was diagnosed with amnesia about 2 years ago. She forgets small things during the day, but it's always worse whenever she wakes up from a deep sleep.
Slowly, he makes his way to the dining room table where Meredith is sitting.
So she forgets about me. She forgets who I am, and it sends her into a panic. Not that I blame her. Seeing a stranger in your bed first thing in the morning must be terrifying. She cries or fights and scratches and bites and pushes me off the bed sometimes, but in other instances, she'll laugh. She'll laugh as if we were 30 again. Oh, how I miss that laugh. It's heartbreaking to say, but I can't let her laugh like we used to. It makes her heart accelerate. It's already a problem she has to deal with, so it would just make it worse.
Meredith Milton enters, wraps her arms around her husband and gives him a kiss.
Good morning, my lovely husband. How did you sleep?
Gregory rolls his sleeve up, showing scratches and bite marks on his arms.
Great, darling. I slept great. She doesn't remember a thing. Amnesia and heart arrhythmia. More specifically, tachycardia. That's what she's suffering from. Her heart beats too fast, and she can't even remember it. It's a burden she has to live with. It's what I live with. But I'm a man of my word. I meant it when I promised to stay by her side through sickness and health, until death do us part. Even though I made this promise, oh, how long has it been? 50-something years ago?
Would you like some soup for lunch, my darling?
Soup sounds great. And then comes lunchtime. Her first dose of Paraquat of the day. That's medicine prescribed for her heart. 400 milligrams per 24 hours. We start with 200 at noon and 200 more before bed.
Meredith puts veggies in a giant pot, stirs.
It was the easiest way I found to include those into her routine. Whenever she forgets about her heart, I have to hide the drugs in whatever she's eating or dissolve it into her drink. I can't deal with the emotional breakdown. Not anymore.
Meredith serves 2 bowls of soup.
Thank you, my dear.
Well, of course, I thought making a sandwich would be good, but we ran out of bread. It's strange because I thought I got some last week to put in the freezer. Oh, by the way, did you go grocery shopping yesterday? There's some tomatoes and pork in the fridge. I don't remember buying those on Monday. Did you plan on making dinner tonight?
Oh, yes. Is that an issue?
What? No, not at all. I was just wondering.
A healthy diet. One of the most important factors of her treatment, according to Dr. Davidson. Ever since we retired, it's become a habit that Meredith makes us soup for lunch. She knows I don't mind it at all, but she still asks every time, just to make sure. I don't want to disturb that routine. It's the only reason I let her cook for lunch, actually. I try to find excuses to take care of dinner. She used to have this bad habit of skipping dinner and making cereal her whole meal for the night when she was too tired to cook. More often than not, she offers her help, which is nice, but it's still a lot of work.
Are you okay, my dear? Did you sleep at all last night?
Yes. Yes, why do you ask?
You look tired. Maybe you should take a short rest. I can take care of dinner if you'd like.
No. I'm all right. I'll take care of it.
Are you sure? Believe me, it's no issue. If you're tired, you should...
I said I'll take care of it.
Okay. All right. I trust you.
I wish I could say I never raise my voice. That I'm patient, I really do. I mean, I love my wife more than anything. She's my everything. But you have no idea what this is like. I'm growing weak. I'm exhausted, tired, worn out, spent, or fatigued. Call it what you like. I feel like I'm a dead man walking.
Gregory stands and walks over to Meredith. Gently, he takes her hand.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to raise my voice. I'll take care of dinner. Don't worry about me. I'm okay.
All right. But we're going to bed early tonight, okay?
All right.
Meredith smiles. Suddenly, she loses her balance and falls near the counter.
Meredith!
As she falls, the lights go down.
Meredith!
Scene 2. Lights up. Gregory is sitting in a chair beside his wife, who is lying on a white-covered bed. There is a heart monitor echoing loudly, and we can hear an oxygen pump. He's petting her hand, his eyes closed. Enter Dr. Davidson.
Gregory Milton? Mr. Milton?
Oh, hi. Yes. Sorry, I didn't hear you come in.
How are you doing? It's been a while since we've seen you.
We didn't have a reason to come.
According to our records, it's been 8 months since your last visit.
I just told you we didn't have a reason to come here. She was fine, well, and healthy. I was taking good care of her.
And what about you, Mr. Milton?
What about me?
You didn't attend to your appointments like we discussed the last time we talked on the phone.
I didn't need to. The pills are working.
Are you taking them accordingly?
Yes.
When was the last refill of your medication, Mr. Milton? I see. At your age, it is time to cut off your diabetic medicine.
This isn't about me.
The heart monitor accelerates.
My wife is the one in the hospital bed right now. I'll be fine. I've been living with this for years. I can manage.
All right. How did Meredith fall today? Did she hit her head?
We just finished lunch. I raised my voice, and she probably stood up too fast and got dizzy. She was still partially conscious when she fell, so I think she cushioned her fall. I panicked, so I called an ambulance. I wasn't thinking. We don't need to be here.
Mr. Milton, your wife's heart rate was over 120 BPM when the paramedics picked her up.
So? Isn't that what tachycardia is supposed to be?
Has she been taking her medication properly?
Yes, of course. I make sure of it.
Was she reevaluated for her dosage of Pacerone in the last 6 months? Right. She'll need to be tested again so we can confirm her dosage is right. She is currently at 400 milligrams per day, correct?
Yes.
Has she lost consciousness or had moments of weakness before today?
Yes! Yes, of course she has. You know what tachycardia is. You know her heart is overworking itself. You know all of this. It happens all the time. Why are you questioning me so much?
I'm simply going through the legal procedures, Mr. Milton.
Right. You're right. I'm sorry.
Listen, the results of her ECG are unnaturally high. Even now, as she's unconscious, she's under heavy medication just so we can keep her heart stable.
When can we go home?
Home? You can't just go home.
Yes, home, where my wife and I belong. Not in this godforsaken building, away from the sick and dying. When?
Mr. Milton, your wife is in no condition to go back home. The only machines are...
No! She's fine. She's strong. She'll be out of here soon. She can make it. She's coming home with me, right, darling?
Exit Dr. Davidson. Gregory goes back and stands by his wife and takes her hand.
You're going to make it, dear. I know you will. We've been through so much together. You can get through this too. I did everything perfectly, to the letter. 50 milligrams of thiamine twice a day for your tachycardia. 200 milligrams of pacerone twice a day for the amnesia. A healthy diet for the heart, including oatmeal and non-caffeinated green tea, avocados, tomatoes, and dark chocolate. That was your favorite. I swear to you, Meredith, I did everything I could. You have to believe me. I did.
He kneels.
What should I do? What can I do? The only reason I survived Mother's death was because of you. Because your family took me in. They nourished my frail body and kept me warm in the winter. You were so young back then. I doubt you even remember the first day your father found me on the street. You were sleeping in your mother's arms, all warm and safe. I beg you, dearest, don't leave me. Please. I can't lose you too.
The heart monitor begins to accelerate. Gregory puts his right hand on his left shoulder, his features creasing in pain. The lights dim and a single light is upon Gregory. The heart rate monitor flatlines.
Maybe it's my turn to rest.
Slow fade, end of play.
Hi, thanks for coming out tonight. My name is Cordell Blunden, and my play is titled Talking Heads. It's about a hunter who disobeys an indigenous hunting ban. That's it.
Drums blare in the background. A large mass of deer skin is stretched out to dry. A light illuminates it, allowing the silhouette of a man to show through. Wrenched in silence, heaving and grabbing his stomach in pain. The deer carcass hangs from the ceiling as David, inebriated in a plaid shirt and overalls, prepares his latest catch. The basement is dark and damp. Blood covers the floor and David.
Is coming in with a special report from the municipal government. In respect to the indigenous Mohican tradition, absolutely no hunting will be tolerated between October 1st and...
David changes the channel in annoyance.
Yeah, right.
He puts a cigarette out on the side of the hanging deer carcass. His wife, blue plaid shirt and jeans, walks halfway down the stairs just out of view of David.
David, what are you doing down there?
Nothing, Maribel. Go to bed. I'll be up soon.
He sips his beer and continues skinning the duck.
What about your dinner?
I'll have it later.
You're not drinking, are you?
No, Maribel.
Oh, and David?
God help me, what?
I think Musty got outside. Could you make sure he's back in before you come up?
Yes, I'll make sure Musty is back inside before I come up. Now go to bed.
Please tell me you're not doing what I think you are. You know there is a ban, right?
Yeah, well, bands don't pay the bills.
Mirabel's footsteps can be heard stomping up the stairs. He walks over to the fridge, cracks another beer, and chugs nearly half the can, sits down and continues skinning the buck. Act 2, country music begins to fade in and out amidst staticky intervals.
Of the Mohican tribes have protected these lands long before anyone else. Their stories and beliefs uphold a unique history to this country, and their traditions should be respected.
He's fiddling with the dial.
Ending with the tribe claiming bad blood. A brief history of the conflict includes many dead, as well as a supposed curse that is still to be uplifted. Oh, spooky stuff, Dave.
Dave throws his butcher knife onto the ground.
God damn it. You've got to be kidding
He
me.
approaches the radio, spins the dial to switch the channel, but nothing is happening. He smacks the radio.
Fines will be issued if anyone is caught in violation. Hunting will only be permitted between the months of...
Enough!
He smashes the radio on the ground. The fragments of what was the radio switch back on.
So if you want that catch, you're going to have to wait until next season, folks, or run the risk of being slaughtered yourself.
What the hell?
He stares in confusion. He hears something behind him. It's the deer carcass. Its spine jerks as it rattles itself back and forth and glares at David.
Still not dead, huh?
The deer turns its head to him.
Quite the opposite.
What the hell? Maribel? Maribel?
He grabs his shotgun, tries to fire at the deer corpse. His gun jams.
She cannot hear you.
Ah! How are you? I don't understand.
You never have, David.
How the hell do you know my name? Who are you?
I am the wind, the trees, and all of the life that exists in between.
This can't be real. I just pulled your goddamn heart out.
You have spent a great deal of time ignoring your instincts.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to make a living here.
I was once a man like you. I had the pleasure of walking the earth. I took for granted the air I breathed, the dirt beneath my feet.
I've lived off the land my entire life.
I was also murdered by a man like you. A seed trying to grow where life is already flourishing. I had taken from me what I held closest, from a force I could not see coming. They took everything from me. I called this land home before you, far before you were able to poach it of its life. You are death, David. You are a disease that infects this land.
What? I don't understand.
Yes, but I can fix that.
Fix what?
What if I took what you held closest? What would you do then?
Please, please, don't hurt me.
You are a pathetic man. I want you to reach inside me.
What? You want me to do what?
I have something for you. Reach inside me and pull it out.
I'm not touching you anymore.
Reach inside me. Put your hand in and reach for what you hold closest.
No, I can't.
The room is illuminated with a red tinge.
Do it! Reach inside me.
He reaches inside.
Yes, reach in. I have something for you.
His hand slides into the exposed rib cage, into the abyss which is the deer's chest cavity.
What the?
He pulls out the cat, Musty, from the deer's carcass, covered in blood.
Musty. What have you done to Musty?
Oh, David.
Please, stop this. What do you want me to do? What should I do?
It may be too late for redemption. Your time may have passed.
What? No, tell me. Please, I'll do anything you say.
I have watched you for longer than you would believe. I have watched you make a life of your own amongst the very ground I once called home. I have watched you desecrate this land with your negligence and your arrogance. I will watch it no more.
It can't be too late. I'm losing my mind. I'm talking to a deer carcass, and I'm losing my mind.
Such a fate would be preferred by most. I have something else for you.
Just tell me where to begin. I will do anything.
I want you to close your eyes, David. I want you to close your eyes and think of what you love most. Think. Tell me what you hold closest.
I won't say it.
You already have, David.
Act 3, lights fade, and then come up. David is holding a lantern, struggling for matches, his face illuminated.
Jesus Christ. Where the hell is the light?
He maneuvers around in the dark, making his way towards a light switch, turning it on. He turns around. It is not the deer's carcass hanging. It is his wife, Maribel, butchered.
Maribel. Maribel!
He rushes over, falls to his knees.
Maribel. I'm sorry.
The smashed radio turns back on, this time playing country music. Lights fade, end of play.
Hi, my name's Amy Corcoran, and my play is called The Gull. So I used to live in a historically medieval city on the coast in Europe. So I spent a lot of time watching seabirds and thinking about what kingdoms would still be around if their rulers had listened to insight instead of their own arrogance. So my play kind of looks at what would happen if an arrogant king kind of took a different perspective and what would happen to his kingdom and his death.
Scene 1. Enter the councilman.
It would be I, to set the stage, a servant who sees all. The land you see is not one you know. The story you hear will ring the bell of familiarity, but yet it does not belong to you. Just as death is not the end, it is an agreement. Those not bound to death, their soul will remain. This is an end for the weak. It is not a path for the great ones. Such is a path our people follow. It is more different between a father and son who live on raised platforms.
Spotlight on the king and the prince.
All eyes on them. They too must abide by death's rule. If they choose not, their gilded rule is exchanged for that of a crown of thorns. Rule to ridicule. But remember this, where death is final for you, it is something completely different for us.
Scene 2. Lights come up, and we see the king standing in front of the queen's grave marker. The young prince, his son, stands beside him.
We strive for excellence. We strive for perfection. We strive for the unattainable. We strive for answers. We strive for happiness, for fulfillment, for something we can only feel in the depths of our souls, for something we will never find, for something that does not exist. We strive to feel complete, but complete does not exist. It does not and cannot exist for our kind. The search is what keeps us going. It keeps our internal engines fueled, and it keeps our minds sharp. It is our salvation and our keeper. There will never be peace. There will only be a need for more, an insatiable hunger. This is our curse. The only freedom from curse is death. But even in death, we know not what comes next. It could be an end, but it could be a continuation, or it could be something else. The idea of peace is a dream, not meant for the living, but a hope for the dead, but never a guarantee or a promise, just a hope. Do not forget, because forgetting makes you a fool, and we cannot be foolish.
Scene 3. As lights come up, we see the king and the prince sitting at a grand table. The king is looking over papers. The son watches his father.
Father, tomorrow marks 15 years.
Yes?
I wondered if we were meant to do something to show our respects for her line.
Your existence is our sign of respect. You growing into a strong leader is our respect. And one day when you sire children of your own, that will be respect. Anything more beyond our duty is frivolous and unnecessary.
Scene 4. The prince stands near his mother's headstone.
I'm not meant to be here. My existence is somehow enough. I was young when you passed, but how I remember you and miss you. I wish there were another. I don't believe I'm meant for this path. I do not know how to strive for more. I feel like a bronze statue, well enough to look at and admire, but utterly useless. I am simply a paperweight.
The prince looks in the distance. Behind him, a child walks on stage. The child is ghostly pale in appearance, and their clothing faded.
Hello.
Who are you? Why are you here? None are allowed here except for those sharing the bloodline.
I am the other, the one you spoke of, your brother. I wasn't given time for escape from my lungs, and I lay here now, unmarked. But my blood that became one with the soil is the same, which runs through your veins.
The other that I spoke of, blood the same which runs through my veins? A sibling, unknown to me, but our features identical at that age. No longer with us, comes as a manifestation, a ghost. On this day, I believe you for some reason. Perhaps it is my emotions playing tricks on me. Perhaps I have fallen victim to a sickness of the mind, but perhaps you are as you say you are. For today is important.
Your uncertainty stems from more than just believing me to be who I say I am. It is rooted in your soul, which it cannot be. You must strive for more. You must be certain about a whole number of things. If you do not, your time will be short and unyielding.
You are a child, yet you are wiser than I.
My soul wanders the earth. I was not bound to death like those with markers, so here I stayed. I could have become a vengeful spirit, but instead I strived for more. I learned as you learned, and at night as you slept, I continued to acquire knowledge.
I wish more than anything to embrace you, to have another take the burden, to strive and be the radiant son our Father wants me to become.
You will become what Father wants one day. It will come with sacrifice, but it will come sooner than you expect. I say that with foresight as the day is here, it brings over there.
What is it?
Child points. The prince follows his gaze.
What is it? Over there in the distance. A lone horseman? A scout?
It is death. Death has come. It is the old ways. It is the future. It will gallop as a shadowed plague across our lands. Our Father, he does not see as he once did. Beyond the hill, death marches towards, its eyes fixed upon Father's frail grip on the realities of this world. We still have opportunity to halt the coming army, but I do not have the ability to do as you do, to speak with Father. If you go now, you could save lives. Go!
Prince rushes off, child watches. Scene 5. We are in a courtyard where the king stands with the councilmen. The child stands with the king. The prince rushes on stage.
I apologize for my interruption, but I've just seen something in the fields to the north of the keep. An enemy force comes this way. It marches with precision. We must act now or we will perish.
My son, how imaginative he is. Older now in the face, but still a child of the mind. He races here to tell us which we already know. You can see it on his face that he believes this to be of great importance. Son, we have seen the lone riders on the cliff. We have our riders who report nothing. The alarms that ring in your head are that of inexperience. You haven't seen as many seasons as those of us in this courtyard. You see trouble in every shadow. But it is just a shadow. Is a shadow not just the self in disguise?
Father, I tell you now that death comes for you.
If any other blood ran through your veins, those would have been your final words. Tell me, what were you doing north of the keep on this day? Your mind has been cast towards the past, to those long since dead. I am not surprised you see death coming.
A child unknown to me, but familiar to you and Mother, is here now, has warned me of the coming tragedy. Do you not think it wise to listen?
A mind cast towards events long since past has no place to speak. Your mind is sick, overwhelmed by the day. Tell no others that you see spirits, for you will have no rule if you do so. A sick prince cannot become king. A sick prince is cast away and forgotten. Sickness destroys foundation. It destroys stability and grace. I will not give you my ear until you have slept and left this day and its ghosts behind you. Look to the future, not the past. Go.
Councilman enters as the prince leaves. Spotlight shines on him. The king fades into darkness.
This morning, a son, not wanting the responsibility of the crown, now feels the responsibility of the rule. The king, like many who remain too long, has become stale. Those here see him as a great but also on the verge of decay. His riders, who never left the stables, have left him to rot. There are those of us who could lend to the prince's warning, but it is not our place. The tides must come in and go out. We cannot stop them, only fate can. The son, once weak, his stature meek, must take on the burden of the rule.
Exit the councilman. Scene 6. Sounds of war, metal on metal, and loss of life. The prince runs on stage, weapon in hand, stained with blood, out of breath and angry. The child enters after him.
All of this, avoidable, all of this, cause and effect. The cause, an ignorant leader. The effect, a weakened future for me.
You must focus on the bloodshed. If you do not, the circumstances will take your body for itself. The soil will be rich with your birthright, as it was with mine.
Scene 7. Lights up on the councilman. He refills the king's drink, and they celebrate. The prince storms on stage. The child stands to the side.
You fool! You celebrate your insolence? We lost so many because you couldn't listen to me. I warned you. I saw the danger, but you cared more about where I was versus the danger that stood on your doorstep. Generations dead because you are an imbecile. Do you not remember the words you spoke to me? Do you not remember the words spoken to you? Do not forget, because forgetting makes you a fool, and we cannot be fools. You are a fool. You misled hundreds to their death. They trusted you. They knew not of the jester with the crown. Even now they celebrate as they mourn, but little do they know you are the cause of both.
My failure. My failure is my own. It was my inability to see further than my nose. I see that now. But now is far too late. I cannot undo death. I cannot bring back the beating hearts that begin to rot. I cannot continue.
He turns to the prince.
I take this as a sign that my time has come to an end. I have become the fool, a joker with a crown that weighs heavily. This is an important lesson you must learn and teach your own one day. The moment you put the whole at risk is the moment you must step aside for the new generation. It is the only way. It's how we have survived and how we will continue forth into the unknown future. Into your future and your reign now. I will not encumber you, just as my parentage did not encumber my rule.
Prince looks away. His rage has become sadness. Scene 8. The king and prince stand on display, the councilman behind them. They wave to the sound of crowds, and the king steps forward to greet the cheering crowd.
I was the death bringer. I brought death to those who chose not to strive.
I am the death bringer. I bring death to those who choose not to strive.
I am tired now. I strive no more. I greet the uncertainty of death.
You are tired. You strive no more. I will bring you to death's door.
I represent your future. You represent my past. A presence interchangeable.
I represent your past. You represent my future. Our present interchangeable.
The king removes his crown and kneels to the prince. The councilman steps forward to the blood-stained block. The king places his head on it. The prince looks out at the crowd, then to his father. The prince withdraws his blade. The child stands with him.
We are the death bringer. We bring death to those who choose not to strive.
Scene 9. The prince and child stand at the king and queen's grave marker.
I strive for more. I strive for a different path, a different future. I strive for what I will never have, but my descendants may have. I strive for choice. I strive for possibilities. I strive for an unknown world.
Together, we will strive when the other is tired. And when your time has come, there will be a marker for the both of us.
Fade to black. End of play. Can I have the playwrights up? Okay. Questions from the audience for our playwrights? Yeah. No, it's quite all right. Rick, maybe you go first.
I'm just curious why, sorry, Anne, why you sort of chose amnesia?
Honestly, I was just trying to find a way to kind of make it hard on Gregory. My first thing was tachycardia, and I figured if she forgot she had the disease, it would put so much more pressure on him to actually make sure she takes her medicine. So it just added to the drama a little bit. But yeah.
If I could sneak one more in for Cordell, have you yourself ever skinned anything?
No, I haven't.
All right. There goes that theory. Sorry. All right.
Allison?
Yeah, so I have questions for all of them. Hi, thank you.
This is
so forever my baby. Just want to let you know I'm gonna be calling my dad after this. But it really really hit hard for a lot of different reasons. Can you reflect on why you chose that relationship with your father?
I was trying to find inspiration for what I was going to write about when we first got the assignment. And I was just having a conversation with my dad about acting and stuff and how it was going for me so far after just graduating, and I wasn't really getting auditions. And he just kind of said, keep trying. And I just figured he'd come a long way since our first conversation. And so that's what inspired me to write it.
Okay, thank you. Time to Rest. The only thing that I would have liked about it would be like a little bit of a warning, because I did have someone in my family with amnesia. Okay. But that being said, is this a personal experience that you're drawing from, or something that you?
It's vaguely based on experience.
Okay. Cordell. What the hell? I just, that's my question. What the hell?
I'll take that as a compliment.
Okay. And last but not least, the Gall. Do you watch a lot of Merlin?
I've watched some of it, yeah.
Okay, because it felt very much like Merlin. I think Robin's the only other person with questions, so thank you.
Thanks, man.
Finally, the microphone I deserve. All right.
So just for a hint of information here, these are former script writing students, okay?
I don't know why they let me in. Anyway, for the first one, for the mother and brother, I believe the name was James. Did you make a choice to not have them be dead?
What?
To not have them be dead?
You want them dead?
I mean, not anything personal, I swear. It's just business. But like, practically speaking, because you had this huge division between the father and the daughter. So what was the choice to keep the mother alive?
Because I wanted to work an angle with it as to why Emma and Frank could have some tension in their relationship. That could be because of the mother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For the next, I kind of had a similar question to Rick in that dementia, considering their ages, why not amnesia? Or not, sorry, not amnesia, dementia. Jesus, I'm really managing here.
I mean, I think it could have gone both ways, just like, because dementia is very different for anybody who has dementia. So for research purposes, I feel like amnesia was a bit easier. Because, like, depending on the person, dementia acts in very different ways. So, just like, yeah, for research purposes, amnesia was easier for me to start with.
No, that's absolutely fair. For the next, did you start this off with the plan of making it a horror?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I really loved your visualization. I saw what was going through your brain, I think, anyway, really well. So I think you really got that theme across.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Of course. Last one. What an artful writing style you have. Your dialogue is very, very unique. You have a very unique voice for it. I've got to say, I feel like in your first section, you had very interesting concepts regarding death, not just governing life, versus death governing other things, such as the death of old ideals, the death of old theories, the death of opinions. So I feel like you actually have two separate plays here. Not that it doesn't work as one piece, just that you have a lot to go on, like a lot of material. That's all I have to say tonight. Thank you, folks.
Okay, great. Any other questions from any? Oh, there's a question over here. A woman has her hand up.
First of all, wonderful job, everyone, tonight. This was such an amazing thing to sit through. Specifically for the Gaul, as mentioned previously, your writing style is fantastic. Like, I listened to your voice and I was transported. Never once did I feel like I was in 2023. Like, just so amazing. So how have you honed that writing skill?
Honestly, I can't really say. I've written for a long time, so I think it's just sometimes a line comes to my mind and I feel like it can go somewhere, so I just stop where I am and I start writing. And a lot of times music helps me. Like, there's parts of that play where I was listening to a song and I had to listen to it on repeat, so I had the same sort of feeling. So I don't know if that gives some insight, but
no, that's wonderful. Yeah. You did wonderful. Everyone wrote so wonderfully, so thank you.
Any other questions?
Actually, I have a question for Amy. What's the song?
A bunch of different stuff. Like, I was listening to some classical stuff, so I can give you my playlist.
Yes, please.
Okay, so it's a wrap, but we have one more thing to do. So if the playwrights could take their seats. I'd like to bring the actors on stage so that our acting ensemble can take a bow.